It is December and it's time for me to start some Lisianthus. I've got two varieties of Lisianthus pretty much in my hands. One is the Roxanne to terracotta and the other is Voyage to lavender. I got a couple of trays right nearby that we're gonna fill up. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm mixing up my soil with some water, just enough to get it moist, but not like sopping wet to where water drips out of my hand. So I'm just gonna play with the soil for a bit and then fill up the seed trays. I'm gonna make sure that I pack all the soil down into the tray. No, we're not using gloves. I don't mind getting my hands a little dirty. So now that the trays are prepped, we'll get the seeds inside. And honestly, we're not even going to bury them deep at all. There's around 50 seeds in each one of these packets. We're going to lightly sow them only on the surface of the soil itself. And check this out. It comes in this little vial. Isn't that something? Alright, I'm gonna get this out. Like little yellow pellets. So the first variety that we're putting down is the Voyage to lavender. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it does come in a little yellow pellets. So we'll drop 2 in each cell. This is a 22 cell. One of them might have to have 3, and that's okay. It's very tedious work. Next up is going to be the Roxanne to terracotta. These are also pelleted. Let's see what color these are. Oh, they're also kind of a yellow pelleted color. I have heard that the pelleted Lisianthus don't do well, but I've grown Lisianthus for at least 3 years now, and I always have great success when starting from seed. And I realized that if you buy them as plugs, they are quite pricey. So if you want to save a little, you might want to consider growing them from seed. And I wouldn't recommend this to like beginners, just because I heard how difficult it can be to get these guys to grow. I haven't really had an issue, but I don't want to have anyone else try this out and then come back to me and say, hey, not a single one of them came up. But I think it's all in the practice, because I won't do too much different from what anyone else is doing, which is just lightly sowing these guys on the top of the surface and not getting them too wet, but monitoring the moisture all the same. So the last thing I'm going to do is add some vermiculite, or I don't know if you can see it, but this is a bag of vermiculite. Just going to lightly cover the top of the soil, just enough to give them some cover, but not really. Because again, these guys don't want to really be in the dark. They want to be in light. And this should be able to provide that. Just a little on the top. That's all we need. We don't need too much. Spread that out a tad. The last step is to actually spray these guys down lightly. You don't want to dislodge the seeds. So I did test my wand a bit to where it's not going to have like overpowered. It'll be just around right. Also, I'm easing up on the grotto. We just want to get the top surface wet. That's all. Just about like that. And this is probably good. And then we'll move on to the next one. One thing I will say to always remember is to label, because you will forget where you place what, where, or what the actual plant is. That tends to happen a lot. So I pre-labeled, I'm putting my stakes in. And we shouldn't get these guys mixed up. Then, also what I'll do is, I'm gonna put the dome over top. By the way, if you think I mixed it up, I didn't. I actually swapped the tray, the first tray we filled, over to this side and moved this tray with the Roxanne terracotta over to here. So it's not mixed up at all. And I like to show you guys the actual mark I use. You can't actually read it, but this marker works like a charm. I've never had an issue with it actually fading on me. We'll get these guys underneath the grow lights and over top of some heat, and they should be up in a matter of probably a couple months, if not weeks from now. It takes them a while. We're gonna just slide this in here. By the way, this larger heat mat is actually activated currently, so these guys should be heated up relatively soon. We will see possibly some results, again, maybe in some months from now, as these guys do take a while. Also, by the by, these are the ranunculus that we stored over, or we're storing over the winter months. I think what I want to do is possibly start these guys in January. So we're probably going to get a head start. Because usually when I do start these, they take forever to bloom. By the time they bloom, it's summertime. They bloom, then they're gone within like possibly weeks or whatever. So they only look nice for so long. So I think we'll pre-spout them in January, plop them out possibly in mid-March, and then see where we're at. And while we're out, I want to show you guys that many of the early spring bulbs are starting to arrive. Actually, these aren't the early spring ones. Let me look. Here they are. These are the early to or late winter to early spring bulbs. These guys do show up here with the green growth. We had a snowdrop bloom for quite some time. It's gone now, but it was neat to see. And I'm super excited to see all the green growth everywhere. I don't know what they are, but they'll flower, then we will know. Although, I will say I do know what these are right here. These are early blooming grape hyacinth. So they are peeking from the ground right now, as you can see. They'll bloom sometime in winter, possibly late winter, somewhere early spring, possibly. Either way, I'm really excited. Ooh, I just seen something. Also, by the way, I didn't remove the anemones, and it appears they're preparing to flower this winter. So I see a flower bud here. This green growth just shot up out of nowhere. So these are all anemones. Love them. Can't wait to see them flower. I can't remember their variety, but I know they were pretty. But alright guys, I will see you in the next one, and I hope you guys are around to see the Lisianthus update. I guess we'll end the video watching these birds feed. Alright guys, peace!